Hey guys, so let's talk about how to go and how to attract larger tax planning clients if you're newer to business. So this is one thing, whenever I mentor people inside of our mentorship program, I get this question a lot, like on our first couple of days, like, hey Bryce, I'm kind of feeling a little bit insecure because I just started my business, but a lot of the people I'm facing have been doing tax planning for 30, 40 years. How can I compete with these people? Like, there's no reason why someone should work with me over those people. They have more experience, okay? So I'm going to tell you today exactly why that's going to be false and just really make it very simple for you to be able to go and get the better people, okay? So let me do this. Test it. So youthful. And sometimes in these videos, what I try to do is I'm trying to make sure that like we get the right notes kind of ahead of time because like it just makes things easier. But I always have like these like extra thoughts that might come up that didn't come up inside of the planning, the preparation for the video. So sometimes got to write it down. Also, if you want some help growing, your tax planning revenue or growing your business, and you feel that if you had someone who can help you along the way, it would be helpful for you, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself, see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? So let's jump into this thing. So, number one, the easiest way when you're first starting out is to go after smaller people and then build up. So one myth that I know a lot of people have is like, I have to be going after someone that's doing about $1 million per year in order to be able to sell a tax plan for like $3,000, $5,000, $10,000. That's simply not the case, right? Because it's not just based on like how much revenue they're bringing in or how much taxable income they have. It's based on a lot of cases on like how much you can save. Like, what can you do for them? Right? So you can actually start a little bit smaller. Maybe go after guys and gals doing about, 200K a year in taxable income, maybe 300K a year in taxable income, 400K, 500K, right? They will be considered smaller, but they're still a good enough size for you to make a significant income, right? Let's say that you get, we'll say 20 tax plans at $5,000 per plan, right? That's still $100,000 right there. Then if you also add in like other services like bookkeeping, payroll, etc., you can also keep charging more and more money. So you can have someone that's maybe making like 300K a year, but they could be paying you anywhere between, we'll say, $10,000 to $15,000 a year. So $5K for the tax plan, then another $10,000 per year for the monthly bookkeeping services, right? Now, it just like we help people with like also with like growing their bookkeeping business as well. So it's like we have both resource and revenue like things to kind of show you how to like charge high for both of those services. And like, where is that boundary between bookkeeping and like tax planning? Like, how should you basically like merge the two together so you can have clients that can pay even more and more money? Now that's optional. If you don't want to offer bookkeeping services, it's okay, not a big deal. We have students that only do tax planning. We have people that do both. So it just depends. Now, number one, okay, if you're thinking about going after the smaller guys, really content is going to be the key. So for whether you go after small, whether you go after big, content is really key. Now, a couple different types of content, right? There's written content, there's audio content, there's video content. If you don't like making videos, you can write. If you don't like writing, but you don't want to be on video, just do audio only, right? There's a lot of different options you can do, right? You can make PowerPoint presentations and read the PowerPoint presentations out loud without putting your face on camera. You can do a video of you having your picture in the corner and you reading a PowerPoint. You can you can just write out like a long paper. It's really more about showing off who you are so that the business owners can get a feel for you, your personality. Like, personality is important because they want to know if they like want to work with you, and then also your skill set, right? So it's important to know who you are because they just want to be able to have put a face to a person, put an understanding or identity to a person, right? They want to know who are they really going to be working with, because that's very important to most business owners. Like, we want to know like, who are we working with? Like how is there a fit? Can we work together for the next 10 years? If I hate talking to you every single time that I see you, I don't want to work with you for that long, right? But if instead like they can see your content, they get a preview of who you are as a person, then it causes them to actually want to work with you and they actually like you. So it works very well. The next thing that it does is you can really start building that trust. The more times that people see you, watch you, hear you, the more that they believe that you can help them with whatever you're talking about. So oftentimes, it's not about necessarily having the most experience. It's just that if they can hear all of your thoughts, ideas, and plans within a very specific time frame, let's say it's like 7 hours. If they watch 7 hours worth of your content, read 7 hours worth of your blog post, they feel like they've spent that 7 hours directly with you. And whether that's over one day or 1 year, as soon as they kind of hit that point, they're ready to work with you and ready to move forward towards working together. So it's very, very interesting kind of like thought process, very interesting type of style of doing like marketing and stuff. Now, that's number one, okay? Now, the next thing you do is you actually can demonstrate your power. So if you ever look at like a magician, how do we know the magician can actually do magic? They have to demonstrate it. They have to pull the card from behind the ear. They have to, make the coin appear from thin air. They have to pull the rabbit out of the hat. As soon as I see that they can pull a rabbit out of a hat, my brain does not know if it's real or if it's fake. My brain does not care. This person just created a rabbit out of thin air, right? They have demonstrated their power. Now that is the magic person for me. This person is magic. It's the same thing when it comes to business. When you can display like, hey, this is what a simulated tax plan would look like. This is my thought process behind building a tax plan. I think for this industry, like these are most of the deductions you're going to be taking on average. This is what I think should be here. Okay, this is why I do here. Then like you're basically giving your opinions. You're showing people how you would do tax plans. You're showing people what it's like to work with you. It's a preview of working with you. And as soon as they can see that you know what you're talking about, they don't care how long you've been in business. That's irrelevant. Right? Whether it's one day, one lifetime, it doesn't matter, right? Because if you can help them out specifically, it's going to work. One thing to note too is a lot of people will associate a younger business with newer, fresher ideas. There's kind of a thought in most markets where it's like, I don't want to work with a CPA that's over, this many years in business because they might have old ideas. And we live in this new fast-changing world, and like there's a lot of different things we can do, and like if you're still thinking like traditional, like that's not necessarily true, but that's what people think. Okay, I'm not gonna try and change what people think if it's beneficial for me. If it's not beneficial for me, then I'm going to like change, and I'm going to objection, and I'm going to like really help them understand that. But if it might not be true and it's not helpful, and it is helpful to me, it's like, I'm not going to tell you, yeah, you're wrong about knowing about stuff in the 21st century. Like, why would I do that? You know what I mean? Like if that's what you believe, that's what you believe. It's not harmful. If you believe that, like, anyone under like 3'10" can't give you a good tax plan, okay, that might be maybe a false belief. So I gotta like tweak that belief. Say give you examples of why maybe that's not true, right? So you have to kind of pick and choose your battles. This just happens to be a battle that is helpful for us in this moment in time, right? So by having this youthful energy and being new in business is going to cause them to really be excited about working with you. And they will actually leave their incumbent CPAs who might be like, maybe they're retiring, maybe they just don't care as much anymore, maybe they don't offer tax planning because it's kind of an old thought that you can't really you can't really do anything with taxes, right? I had this guy one time. This was like the first year that I made like $150 in a year, and we were like talking like, yeah, I want to be able to like lower my taxes, right? Because like we weren't really good at like taxes back then. Like we were, but like we didn't really trust ourselves. And there was a couple guys I knew from networking events that were like good, like, oh, you can't really reduce your taxes. That's kind of a myth. Like you might see people on TV doing that, but that's kind of a myth. It's like, what? This guy's been doing accounting and taxes for this many years, and he thinks it's a myth to be able to like take like certain deductions. And that's when I was like, oh, we got this. Like it's a wide open target market, man. So like when you can come on, you can show people that what's possible for them, man. They will dump their other person so fast, or they'll even bring you alongside with the other person, right? So what they could do is they could pay you for the plan, and they could pay their existing accountant to do the execution of the plan. So that's another option you have available as well, right? Next thing, another way to demonstrate your power is to get testimonials. So earlier I said like you don't have to go after huge tax plan clients in the beginning, but what you can do is go with whoever wants to work with you in the beginning, whether they're big or they're small. Do the best you possibly can for that person, okay? And I want you to record the results. So record the journey. What was this person thinking along the way? Give a weekly update of like what were you doing inside of your tax plan or inside your business for the week, for the month, for the year. Make sure you take testimonial videos when the person gets a really great result, or even your exit interview. If you're not doing exit interviews, like you're leaving a lot of money on the table. But let's assume that you're doing exit interviews. And also, if you don't know how to do exit interview, we can actually teach you inside of our coaching program how to do that. We're also going to have like some videos on the channel that basically break it down as well. But exit interviews for testimonials, and even just interviewing your past client and existing clients. Now, the small people are going to show direction. Remember, the small people will demonstrate that you have some skill set to do that. Now, what happens is larger clients, like they might say, okay, well, this might not work for me because I'm a lot bigger, but there's a good percentage of those bigger people that'll be like, okay, this person out, I like you, I trust you, I have the relationship, let's just get things started. You have that youthful energy, right? So you'll get the bigger clients once you've shown that you can handle the smaller clients. And once you get the bigger clients, now you have larger testimonials. So when you go to more bigger quality clients, they're going to see you helped out Joe Schmo, who was making $10 million a year, and like you helped them go and save like, an extra $2-3 million on taxes. Okay, cool, right? Now it's like, okay, you can get anyone that you want. So it's like you put out the content, you display your power, you get the small people first, you get 1 or 2 testimonials for the small people, you go to a bigger person, the bigger person also wants to work with you, you get the testimonial from the bigger person, now you can start going after a lot more bigger people. And here's a cool thing. If you have a very large testimonial as well, you'll get more of the smaller people to kind of come to you as well, because then I'll have complete certainty. You help this person save $1 million? What can you save for me? The one caveat to that and the one challenge, you make sure you set proper expectations with the smaller people. Because if they see like you saved $1 million there, you don't want them to have unrealistic expectations. Like, I heard a guy one time, he's like, you saved $1 million for this guy? Well, can you save $1 million for me? It's like, well, brother, you only did like $250 a year in revenue. Like your net profit is like $150. Like I can't just create money out of nowhere. You know what I mean? So it's like, so you gotta set like good expectations for that if you do have a really big testimonial. But it's just one of those things. And again, one other thing you can do as well is like make sure you are documenting your results. Okay, you don't have to do marketing if you can document. Okay, that's one thing that I do a lot. So like on my main YouTube channel where we talk about like bookkeeping, more like high ticket bookkeeping, we document our results with our mentorship students very, very, very heavily. So I have like videos of behind the scenes videos whenever a student gets a result, or whenever someone has like a testimonial, or even like an interview, or I'll merge multiple coaching calls together. And what am I doing? I'm just documenting, so I don't have to like tell people what I'm going to do for them. All I do is show you what I've done for other people, and then most are going to be like, okay, cool, you can help me out as well, or this is kind of the direction. So the direction shows, okay, we're going in the right direction. I don't necessarily know exactly how you're going to do it, but I know that if this person went from here and they went from here, I can kind of be somewhere in that range as well. Now, make sure one thing you can do is start really tracking how much are you actually saving your clients each year. And then start putting inside your profile, or start putting inside your marketing. Like I saved, we saved X millions or X thousands of dollars. If you're not millions yet, just say 100,000 or whatever, right? And just make it very specific numbers. Say like millions of dollars saves. How many millions, right? Be very, very specific. Specificity beats size. So someone can say, I've saved millions of dollars. But if you can say, hey, I have saved $900,000 in the past 6 months for 3 people, that's way more powerful, okay? Now, keep in mind, the newer you are, the shorter the time period you want to use. So like there's like these lawyers you might see on TV and they've been around for like 40 years. They're like $10 billion saved over the course of 40 years. Okay, if you don't have that, then what you need to do is you shrink that time frame, right? It's more acceptable to have a smaller number in a shorter time frame. I have saved $2 million for clients in the past in 2024, whatever year you're in watching this thing. And what that's going to do is more specific, and people are going to see that. And then as you get more and more, successful, and as you're longer in business, then you can kind of drop off like the number of years. But I do like saying an X time, because it makes things seem more tangible, and it makes the number that you're saying feel bigger because the time is smaller. If that makes sense. So if you just say I've saved $100 million, it's like, well, over what time period? In some cases, some people will go for that, but it's more specific. If I saved $100 million in 1 year, that's a lot more powerful, because then people can kind of extrapolate, okay, well, dang, he's saving a lot of money for people this year. Man, he knows exactly what he's doing. This is the right time. Yeah, let me get started with them. So having that specificity is really going to help you. But make sure you're just documenting, right? You want to make sure you can document it. That's what I'm saying. Everything that you do, every win you get, you need to save that. If you do not have a CRM or practice management software, As soon as you start getting clients, I would highly recommend you pick some of that up. Basically for me, every single client that I have, all of our text messages, emails, documents we're sharing back and forth are all in one, like, it's like a almost like a folder. And I can go back in time for every single thing. Like some people ask, like, Bryce, how are you able to kind of like document the students' journeys, like if they're in your mentorship program? Like I've had some, we call them like documentaries, where I basically take someone who's worked with me for like a year, right? And I take from day 1, day 2, week 3, week 4, week 5, week 6. How do I even have that much like footage to be able to do that? It's because it's all saved in one folder. It's very, very, very specific, very documented. It's very, very robust, right? So it allows us to be able to go and start getting the information we need so we can start documenting results. And that's like 90% of what I do in my business to like get more people. I just document. I don't promise anything. I just document. And then it's like the documentation does, like, okay, so one thing that you might think when you're first getting started is that you have to like tell people, I'm gonna do this for you. Like you feel like you have to make promises. But instead of making promises, you can make a small promise and have the certainty by demonstrating that you can make that small promise, and more people will go with the small promise with certainty than a big promise with no results behind it. And that's like the key to learning how to like get good at business, because then people always love you because you're always over delivering whatever you promised, right? And it's by design. So I had a person I was talking the other day. They're like, "Oh, am I gonna like make $1 million in my accounting business?" And like the first year, it's like, no, like we have to kind of take steps to build there. But if you do build these steps, this is the next kind of trajectory and the next place you can go. Right? So I told him, I basically said we're going to do less, but if we do less, we do it right, we're going to go further. That's all this stuff is, right? And that's the truth, because you never want to lie to your clients. Never lie to your clients. Don't tell them you're going to like save more money. Don't tell them you're going to make more money than what you actually think you can do, because it's going to backfire, man. You're going to get that reputation of like you overpromise, and then it's like, well, he always underdelivers. Like he never really, kind of gives what he says. You can't really believe him. Like whatever he says, like take away like 20%, right? If he says he's going to save you $100,000, it's going to be more close to like 80% or $80,000, so just kind of take what he says with a grain of salt, He means well. He means well? What do you mean? I had a person say that about, I was trying to get a recommendation for a financial advisor for a referral partner, right? So I talked to people like in the online space who are also in our local areas, like, he means well. I was like, he means well? What do you mean he means well? I can't refer clients to that. That's a terrible reputation to have, man. Don't get into that. So only promise what you can do, okay? And then learn how to offer less and less, but do more for people. Promise less, do more. That's the moral of this story, okay? If you're new, promise less, do more, and work your way up. And I promise you're gonna be able to go and reach whatever milestone in your business that you really want to, okay? So this has been a great video. I really appreciate your time. If you want some help doing any of this stuff inside of your business, if you feel like if you had someone can help you out, it would get you a lot further and closer to your goals, go ahead and click the link inside the description, either above or below the video, to book a call with myself to see if I can help you inside of our mentorship program, okay? Right now, we only accept about 5 new tax planning clients per month. Right, so for the bookkeeping, I accept 10 new bookkeeping people for our mentorship program. For tax planning, since it's a lot more specialized and there's a lot more that's involved, we really cap that number off. So if you want to see if there are still spots available for you, and if there's still some openings, go ahead and click the link inside the description above or below. On the call, I'm just going to take a look at like, where are you now? Where do you want to go? We'll determine if there's a fit to work together. And if it makes sense, we can just get started right then and there. We can get off to your goals and get off to the race, okay? I'll talk to you soon. Have a good rest of your day. Take it easy. Talk to you soon.